Hi, this is Corey Clark with Black Squirrel Creations, one of the creators of the Mugg Plugg. I've got Carrie Clark, other creator, co-creator of the Mugg Plugg, behind the camera. She's going to be walking us through. This is my second pot now. So we're going to be using our Mugg Plugg 214T to make a quick Pilsner glass. So I'm going to walk you through how to make a Pilsner glass with your Mugg Plugg. So we've rolled out our slab down to about 1/4 of an inch thick. And what we're going to do is we don't have a template made for this, so we're going to roll the Mugg Plugg on the clay so you get the texture left on there from the actual canvas from the slab roller. And we're just going to gently roll the Mugg Plugg around the clay. So we now have our form. So pretty much there is your template, for the Mugg Plugg. Once you get this cut out, you could also take this piece of paper and you could trace it, then you could use this for your Mugg Plugg. Just knowing I hand turn these in a lathe, they're all solid maple, finely sanded. There's actually no treatments on these pieces of wood, so they're all completely all natural, environmentally friendly. So every Mugg Plugg is a little bit custom, so I don't like to do, or we don't currently sell templates, because every Mugg Plugg though the form is pretty much the same. They are slightly different, so it's better to make a template for your specific plug. So what we're going to do now is just go ahead and cut out our clay. So we're just following the outline. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Of course, this was more than one revolution, so it's going to be larger than we need actually for our Pilsner glass. And then we will just trim it once we put it onto the plug itself. So, yeah, make sure I've cut all the way through. I learned that from the first video, that I was not cutting all the way through, which was causing some issues. So there's that. So we're gonna go ahead and cut our base. So we're gonna do this one with this method. So we've got a pretty much just a round cookie cutter that matches our Mugg Plugg base. You could also just put the Mugg Plugg down and then cut it, with your, what is this called?
Needle tool.
The needle tool. Don't have that woodworking. So we're gonna use the cookie cutter. I'm gonna cornstarch it.
Dip it in. It's small enough you could just dip it.
I'm gonna dig it. Then we're gonna come in here. Go ahead and put that down, give it a twist. So there is our base of our Pilsner glass, and we're going to get rid of this clay. So now we have our clay itself. So when we do this one, it's going to be wet on the outside, right? So it's best. How would you like me to go about this?
I, first of all, like to take a pony roller, which is that little roller there.
This thing?
And I like to take the little end and just barely soften that top lip so it's not so thick. Just barely, a little bit more in the middle. There you go. Just so it's not so severe and blunt.
Okay.
Now, you are going to score the outside edge of your base. And then you're going to score the.
So when you're scoring this, it's going to allow it to kind of mush together and combine. That way it'll actually get a seal. Is that
correct.
The whole purpose of scoring it instead of just smashing it together? And now.
And then the inside line.
Inside edge here, right? Because that's when we're doing it.
Correct.
So I just want to loosen up this clay so it acts kind of like a glue at some point.
Yes.
When we put them together.
You can apply slip to it. You can apply just a little bit of water, and it kind of makes its own slip with the clay.
Ooh, I can apply water. Carrie loves me because my love of cornstarch and water so far is a bit excessive.
It's excessive. That's okay. You're learning.
So what do we do now?
Now you need to get the little bat from underneath you.
Okay.
And then you're going to put the little base, the round circle base on the bat.
Okay.
And then I cornstarch the Mugg Plugg.
Cornstarch.
The bottom and, usually you don't do it over your clay.
Oh, is that the bad thing?
I mean,
but it burns off, right?
It burns off, but it just makes it harder for seams and such. Okay. Yes, and you place that there, and now you're just gonna wrap that around the Mugg Plugg.
I'm gonna move a little forward just so you can see better.
Be careful not to ding your Mugg Plugg with your bat.
Oh, all goes bad from here.
It's all right. It's all salvageable.
All right, so we're gonna take it. You just want to wrap it
Mm-hmm.
down flat. We got a lot extra.
Yeah, you got a lot of extra. If you want to eyeball and just cut some of it off to make your life easier, you can.
We're getting there.
You can eyeball it.
Yes, ma'am.
And just,
I'll eyeball it.
and just cut. Oh, Lord have mercy. I feel like that was a little much, but
Much what?
you cut a lot off.
You told me to cut a lot off.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I want to get this down to here, right?
Okay. Yeah, you still have enough for a seam.
Yeah, I can overlap it. Oh, you think I cut the bottom too tight?
You were a little aggressive with that.
Okay. Now, what would you like me to do?
Okay. Now you want to get it so that everything's perfectly snug on the mug plug, all the way around from the top to the bottom. Top to the bottom. Make sure the bottom's snug too. Okay. And now you're going to take your seam and very gently, without gouging into your wood, cut the overlap to make your seam. Usually you start at the very bottom.
I was going back for that.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, you just don't want to slice your mug plug, but is there any extra on the bottom piece? No.
Okay.
So now you want to slip and score your seam. That's something we've been missing. You want to slip and score. You want to slip and score your seam. I totally
What is
didn't-
that? How do I do it?
I didn't catch that the last time.
So you're saying our
Where's
first
your
mugs may
score?
not exist?
It'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
No, stop pushing it.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Get your scoring tool, get it a little
This
wet.
thing? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, water. Okay.
And now pull your little seam out apart, just enough for you to be able to slip and score each side. Just right on that raw edge there, on the edge. Okay. And the same thing on the other side. Yeah, I think we missed that step in the
You
last
know, I
videos.
just do this as directed.
Okay. Yeah, you can blame it on me. It's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Now we're gonna put them together.
Yep.
Now these should actually stick
Now
together.
they should actually stick together.
Huh. So what you're saying is, use my red thingy to smooth it out?
Yeah, you can. You might want to turn it towards you real quick just so you can see what you're doing.
Oh,
'Cause
I
you're,
can see it. It's pretty horrible.
no, down at the bottom you're missing a piece. Kind of like it's not squished together enough. Kind of overlap it a little bit. There you go. Okay, now you can smooth it. And smoothing is usually best done from the very bottom to the very top, like in one big swoop. Otherwise you leave lots of divots.
I call those divots customizations.
They do add character.
You
And
know,
it's obviously handmade. That's the good thing about hand-built pottery. Is that it's very obvious, usually, that it was not made by a machine.
okay, what do we think from here?
If you look at, yeah, I would kind of straighten that out a little bit. And that'll come, you'll just kind of have to fine tune that as we go. When you're making your own template, you can fine tune your actual template. So then you'll get a much more even cut. We're just eyeballing it and going on the fly, and we're not in our own home studio, so. Okay. And then you're gonna want to flip the whole thing over, including the bottom. There you go. And then very gently peel without pulling the bottom off. That's where cornstarch probably would come in handy. But see, when you pull it off, you gotta be careful not to, you wanna pull it all at one,
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you kind of smush aside.
Well, I don't think it would have come off smooth if I didn't wiggle it like that, but
Okay. Yeah, we probably should have cornstarched the
it was
bottom.
pretty, I didn't get a chance, I had a chance to use cornstarch, I didn't.
You did,
That's sad.
and we missed our opportunity.
That makes me sad.
But now, since the mug plug sits on a special standing base, now
Our
you can,
patented standing handle, patent pending, allows you to turn it over and work just like you would on a wheel. So you can spin it and work with it and not damage it. So I can actually come down here and spin it with the handle. So I'm not putting fingerprints in the glass as I'm working this seam, I guess, right? Am I using right terminology for pottery?
correct.
Okay.
He's using his Mud Tools Red Rib. And that's really, literally as hard as it is. That's it. So you'll just spend some time refining your form and, you know, smoothing out all the marks and whatever that are made during the process. And usually you start with a smooth form, but we didn't, a smooth clay. But
So, there we go.
this works with textures. If you wanted to do a textured slab, you can do that. Again, it's always easier to,
We can pull the plug out.
there you go.
We can work the inside. We'll go back to the outside later for the sake of time. So I've got my inside seam here. And then we're gonna work, smooth out the inside seam. Do I need to brush the bottom part or
I would.
use this thing again? Or no?
I would just
Does that really do
I would
anything?
use the paintbrush first to get a bit, because it makes a kind of a slip as you do it.
Ooh, I could add water.
A little, just enough to make a little bit of slip that kind of goes around and fills in any gaps.
Need more water. Again, I'm not the potter. This is pot number 3. Now what I do, use this thing?
You can. Just to kind of smush those seams together down there that are hard to get to.
It's impossible to get to. We should make a tool for that.
Oh, we kind of did. But we haven't, we didn't bring it with us today.
What's that?
Your cone anvil, that's the cone plug.
Oh, the cone plugs. Yes, our new, soon to be released mushroom and cone anvil. Oh, so you're saying you can stick that in there and use that to, I just make the things carry cups up with them. So yeah, I need to make a few of those. A little concerned, I got a little crack over here. I'm just trying to get it in a little, fill in the crack. Okay, so that's got the inside. So now we'll
You just
fix
kinda
the rim a
round
little
off the
bit and
rim a little
then
bit.
we can go back to the outside after.
And again, you can refine your rim as you go. We're just, for the sake of time, not messing with it too much, but before you put the pot together, I would mess with the rim at the before point. Be much easier to cut it and get it where you can see the arc is perfect. But that's literally as hard as it is.
Oh, but yet, there's
Oh.
a rim rounder. Huh? Cornstarch.
You don't need it on the pot.
So we have the rim rounder, which we also make. We can
And
put
just
in there.
gently twist it around until it makes it perfectly round again.
We have a round opening, rim rounder. And then,
When your mug plugs and rim rounders and vase plugs and pot plugs all get dirty and have clay on them, they can be gently wiped. You just don't want to get them, you don't want to like wash them. You can gently wipe them with a wet sponge, a damp sponge, I should say. And that's it,
so there's, aside from fixing the outside a little bit,
right?
this is our 214 Pilsner glass. So as
Which
you can
just
see,
means it's 2 1/4 inches, what,
at the bottom, yeah, so these tapered mug plugs, so the part number is a 214T for tapered, because you got a 1-inch taper. So it's 214 at the bottom, it's 314 at the top. So it's a 1-inch taper between the top and the bottom of the form itself. So again, you don't have to go all the way up your form. You can make smaller glasses, medium-sized glasses, height-wise, to whatever you want. So again, the nice thing about this with the handle is you can manipulate this thing however you want to, where if you don't have a mug plug, it's a little more difficult to work with if you just have a small form inside. So with the handle, you can work this thing all you want to.
And now
So
you could add texture to it with rollers and that type of thing, small MCAM rollers and all sorts of designs after the fact, if you didn't want to put texture all over it in the beginning.
okay, well there is, again, this is the 214 tapered mug plug. So let's get this ended so I can fix my outside. You actually have this mug for later. Thank you.